you are a community club. DCFC is a community-built club. And it will always
team is pitching a plan to revitalize a historic gem in our community, and it's a project that's driven by their passion for their sport.
State of disrepair right now. Concrete sort of crumbling a little bit. The bleachers.
Football club. We're at Wilt Stadium. This stadium was built in 1936. Simply put,
it's amazing to see just how far they have come. Years ago, they were playing over at Gas Tech, and now so many people.
I still think somebody scored the goal to really settle in. The post and Stephon St. Louis is there to clear it.
Yeah, in the background, they give us the 12th man. It's awesome.
Fans to watch. We're happy to put on a show for all these guys that came out to see us play.
Back when we move, they move, and just communication's the biggest part.
Great. I think we could have earned a shutout earlier against Sparta in the year.
Awesome. The atmosphere is amazing.
Monday with the right foot. It's in the back of the net.
People know us now. People know what to expect. Now we gotta take it to another level.
Look, city till I die. Say hi to the bad fella. Hella smooth with the flow, so grab your umbrella. Yeah, we make it rain, bring the pain. Things are changing. Power rankings take a spanking, got them rearranging. They said Denise are all stars till we deboed all y'all. Ball of fist and brawl y'all. Yeah, we pissed off all y'all, and we thin but still winning. Grinning at the top, got up under head spinning, make that chin pop. Blue collar clocking in. They been mocking us for days till they step into the key, and they been leaving with a fade. Doubting us, but then they swayed. Say we pout, they throwing shade. You will never have what we have, time to get the blade. Cause we'll be cutting them up, yeah, we're shutting them up. We ain't bluffing, tell you something, better knuckle up. Y'all ain't nothing but chumps, we put in overtime. We'll be putting in work until it's closing time. City till I die, talking blood, sweat, and tears. City till I die, we've been building this for years. City till I die.
Hey everybody, the following episode of Channel 451 Tunnel Talk was recorded on Wednesday, April 30th. And it's going to cover a few things from the Detroit City FC's matchup with Pittsburgh Riverhounds, what's upcoming this with Indy 11 this weekend, and Chicago Fire Open Cup, and all that'll be making the trip to that. Maybe some details on the owners' meeting that took place with everyone that you know and everyone that you might be about to know. So, strap in, enjoy, hope all are well. We go onward. Come!
Is
that thing is huge. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we recording?
What?
I have no idea what we're talking about.
I'm talking about Jam Stem.
Oh.
Okay. Spoiler alert. Jam's here.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's an excellent intro, Adam. Because the first order of business tonight on the 451 Channel 451 Tunnel Talk podcast presented by Speedway is to officially announce the one and only Jam as a new member of the podcast.
Spirit fingers, yay!
In post production, we're going to add a applause sound effect.
I hope so. That's what I'm worth.
Brizio gave it the "let's go" or whatever he says.
What does he say?
Here we go.
Here we go. Yeah.
He says, "Here we go."
Fabrizio Romano. He leaked it earlier in the week, and
that's right.
We were trying to cover it up, but after. So, Jam, you were on 2 weeks ago.
Yes, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, it is the episode with the most views in the history of the 451 podcast. By far.
I don't know if I buy that, but I'll take the flattery.
It was a brutal negotiating session too. Like it was
price
intense.
Went way up.
It was back and forth. I mean, ever since those numbers came out and Jam's, agent and her people got a hold of those numbers, it just. I mean, the price to bring Jam aboard just went.
The signing bonus, yes, the signing bonus, the incentives. But listen, we had to make this deal happen.
I know Dennis isn't on tonight because he was still kind of protesting it.
He got a pay cut because of it.
Yeah,
we all had to take a pay cut.
Look, I know what I'm worth. Okay.
We might get into some trouble with the financial fair play board, but
those rules are optional anyways.
I mean, it was enough to purchase me a box of Kirkland's Finest.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, so we're here tonight. Welcome, everyone, near and far. A global audience. Thanks to our listeners in Andorra and Chad. We appreciate you.
Chad the guy or Chad the country?
Chad the country. There might be a Chad guy named Chad who's listening.
Chad ILO could be listening. You never know.
Yes, I would have thought so.
Shout out to Chad. Both of them. Both the country and the man.
We're going to start with the men's team, but we're going to end with the women's team because Alan's got some breaking news from the owners' meeting.
Breaking news.
So we're going to keep you in suspense, but just know that that's where we're heading. Who was at the Pittsburgh match? Anyone?
Yes.
It would be amazing if everyone said no.
Oh, we're raising our hand, and I forgot you can't see the raising the hand.
Well, if they're watching on YouTube, they can. Yeah.
Well.
If you're listening on Spotify, everyone raised their hand but me.
Are a lot of people watching on YouTube? Do I need to make sure I'm pretty when we record this?
No one watches.
Okay.
We get a decent amount of views.
Yeah, we get some decent viewers.
What? Really?
Viewership. Oh yeah.
Good to know.
Alan, when I saw the lineup, I was a little bit surprised. I didn't know how we were gonna. I think we talked about this maybe last week. We didn't know how seriously we were gonna take the Jägermeister Cup. It was pretty much the starting lineup. What was the? I guess maybe how did you think the team did they take the game as seriously as the lineup you would have imagined from seeing the lineup?
Yeah, it was a surprise, to see that virtually all of our starters were playing in that game. It seemed like an opportunity to use some of the bench who aren't getting as many minutes. But on the other hand, this is taking the place of a league game. So it's, perhaps there's timing involved where you want to keep your starting players match fit. So it was my impression from looking at Pittsburgh's lineup that they did not use their starters, but I don't know who their starters are. So that's probably just an assumption. And at least through most of the first half, it seemed like Pittsburgh's plan on how to control the game was working. It was, I wouldn't say we were playing poorly, but we weren't achieving much either. So it was kind of back and forth until the end. So, if it's true that they were playing their bench and we were playing our starters, that's not great. But in the end, we know what happened. So,
yes, in the end, it was inevitable. Another goal for Darren Smith. What a legend!
The late show.
The latest possible goal.
The entire game happened in the last 2 minutes of stoppage time.
I'm sensing a trend here with this last minute shit, you guys. I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, it's probably not good for our nerves.
It's exciting when it happens. It fucking stresses me out the rest of the game.
Absolutely.
I'm not trying to have a heart attack at 40.
Yeah, they've been leaving it late for sure. But Jam, how good is Darren Smith?
He is so fucking good.
Right?
Yeah.
The guy is legit unbelievable. Holy shit. And he just seems like I don't know, kind of that all-around guy. Like, everybody seems to like him. He seems not only like a good player, but like a decent dude, which for DCFC, I think obviously is important.
Yeah.
More than maybe some other clubs that you could be with, where like that matters. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like a tactics nerd like y'all, but he's really good at soccer.
He's really good at scoring goals.
Yes. And that's what we need. That's what we've needed forever.
Yeah,
like, not to shit on goal machine Ben Morris, because like he is also good, but we needed more. We needed somebody else to jump in and do the damn thing way more times.
Yeah.
He seems to have a particular focus on getting the goals. You know, he's willing to poach a goal. And that's what we've been missing, is just somebody who's just really focused on getting the goal and not trying to make it pretty or anything like that. You know, and how many goals does he have now? Like
7 and 8 matches now, I think.
Wow, it's just incredible.
Is it 6 league goals?
That changes the season just itself.
Yes. What did you say, Adam?
Is it 6 league goals?
Yeah, 6 league goals
in total or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Now this one in Jägermeister.
I think he's tied for like top goals in the league so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's almost eclipsed all of Maxi's goal that poser from last year. So,
who?
some guy
used to play I remember him.
For anyone who's confused, Maxi Rodriguez Hate Week will resume. Like we were thinking about making another entire episode just about how much we hate him.
Hate month.
But we thought, like hate month is a little bit much. We're gonna try and like stretch it out a little bit.
All right.
When do we play them? I think we play them in August again. Yeah. So
that sounds right.
Maxi Rodriguez Hate Week will resume.
I'm ready.
Yeah, no, I think Alan's right. Like, we've just needed a guy who would get. I've been saying this for years. Like, can we just get one guy who will go in the 6-yard box and be in there when the ball gets there? Like, we just haven't had anyone who was willing to do that since Sean Lawson left, right? So, anyway,
it seemed like Elvis was going to be that guy until he got hurt against North Carolina last year.
That's a fair point, because I think he did have some of those tendencies.
And then when he got back, he just wasn't the same. And what was cool about that last match, not the Open Cup, but the Jägermeister match, was Haruki didn't come on till later in the match. But that was a nice setup that Haruki to Ben to Darren Smith had.
Yeah.
And I hope that Haruki gets more playing time based on how he was doing, in the second half Saturday. I'm not sure they win that match if Haruki and Ben aren't subbed on when they were, because it seemed like they were trying to feed Darren that entire game and just wasn't working in that final third. And when you brought those guys on, first of all, Haruki trucked some guy, like, and Haruki isn't a big guy. I mean, Haruki's a pretty. I mean, he's not Ryan Williams small, but he's still not a big guy. He trucked some fucker towards the touch. I barely got a picture of it. Like I got a picture of the guy when he's already down on the pitch. But it was great. And like I said, I don't know they win that match if it's not for Haruki and Ben being able to finally feed it into Darren cleanly and, have him header into the net. So like I said, I hope he gets more playing time, Haruki, that is. It seems like he's certainly earning it. He's been a quality player every single opportunity he's gotten. So, but yeah.
I agree 1,000%. I love him. already.
Yeah, you were high on him the last time we talked. Jam.
I mean, it's hard because we don't have much that we've seen of him yet, so it's hard to say like, can he keep this up all season? Are we going to get it in little bursts? Is he going to get some league match time, or is it just going to be these cup matches? But I think he fits. He is something that we really don't have in anybody else. And I just think, like, I want to see more from him because just with the little bit that we've seen, I think he so far is like very underrated. I don't think he's like the flashiest guy out there. You're not necessarily going to notice him all match, but I think he's going to end up being the kind of guy that you notice when he's not there.
Yeah. He works his ass off. Like, I mean, that much I think stands out even just from the little bit that we've seen. Like, he's always buzzing when he's on the field. So, Adam, I just want to go back to one point. So you were talking about the build up to the goal, Haruki to Ben to Darren Smith. Do you think, and I know I've been critical of Monsieur Morris over the last 2 years. I mean, once in a while, it comes out.
Maybe a little bit. I think that's mostly just love. That's tough love, though.
It's tough love, exactly.
Tough love. It's tough love.
But do you think that actually having Darren Smith, who is proving himself to be a legit goal scorer, does that allow Morris to do what he's actually best at, which is maybe like not scoring the goals, but like being in the link-up play, being involved in the build-up, and being part of what leads to the goal, and not necessarily the person who's like sticking it in the back of the net?
Yes, absolutely. Because we actually talked about this too on Make City Make Spence, which you could also hear on Detroit.themajorsports.com as well. Yes, 100%. And this is like one of my worries too with Ben Morris this year. Not so much from him, but the fans out there, the supporters out there who measure success only in goals. I think Ben is still contributing to this team without having to score goals. Like I said, I mean, he's doing something. You just touched on it, Jaime. He's doing something that I think, I don't know if it's something he's more comfortable with. It very well could be, but it's something that is very much working for him and for the rest of the team, which is great because he doesn't have to score goals this year. Yes, it would be great if he does score goals as well, but he doesn't necessarily have to score goals, which I think is a much larger testament to what this team is right now. This team has much more depth than they ever had since they've been to USL Championship, and it's up and down too. I mean, you talk about Ben Morris up top, which is absolutely true, but you also talk about the midfield too, and all the different pieces that Danny has to play with, whether it's Haruki, whether it's Reese, whether it's Ryan Williams, whether it's Matt Sheldon, whether it's Ates Diaf. There's just tons of different combinations that he can work with, and Ben's just he's a piece of that up top. So yeah, I think that Ben is doing a bunch of other things in other aspects of the game, which is contributing to, more early season success for City.
I am a little concerned, though.
Uh-oh.
I do
Take
wonder.
Off your hat. Is your hair all spiked up and? Oh,
what hair? What
That's
hair?
Alan, not Jaime. Go ahead.
I am concerned that perhaps he may have the self-conception of himself as the striker. So I agree with you 100% that he is contributing a lot. I do wonder if he sees that. And we'll have to see how that plays out. Should he start? Absolutely. Is he going to be the guy who's going to be bagging in the goals? Probably not. So I want to see how that plays out. I think he's frustrated when he doesn't score goals. And I don't know how willing he'll be to be part of the things that get the goal, as opposed to being the guy that makes it happen. That's just a feeling. You kind of see that sometimes. Like I can think of some players in the Prem who everyone has an expectation they're going to score goals, and they don't, but they do help the team in a lot of ways, but they just don't feel like that's what they want to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's not had any chances, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think he's had chances and he's missed chances. I just, like, I don't know. I feel like... What's that?
I was gonna say he had one on Saturday, and it went over. It went over the crossbar.
Yeah, a really good chance. So, I would say, like, sometimes you have to come to terms with what you're good at. You know what I mean? Like, and everyone's got a role to play on this team, and either you can deal with that or not. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing too. Is hopefully, it's always been a very like team-oriented thing. It's unless we're just down to bare bones and nothing and doing it out of pure necessity, like there's never just one guy on this team that is important. Like even back in the Trevor days, I feel like he built that the way that it is, that it's not just about you.
Yes, correct.
And even if you're not the guy scoring all the goals, like you still have like a super, super important role to actually play.
Yeah.
And that matters. And that just because you're not the guy scoring every single goal, we still need you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's totally Danny's ethos on the team is,
yes,
we're all in this together and we're all going to make this happen. And nobody's like so critical that we can't do without you.
Yeah, this doesn't look like. I mean, this certainly doesn't look like the 2023 team where it seemed like there were some players there that were maybe entitled, they thought, to playing time, and those guys aren't here anymore.
Yeah,
one of those
guys
didn't
work very well. Yeah,
and one of those guys in particular, I'm not going to name names, isn't even playing soccer anymore. So
name the names, Adam.
I think we all know who that is.
We want to know. Our audience demands to know.
A gorgeous blonde Norwegian, perhaps.
Oh my!
Not to name any names. All right.
Wow. It's gone off the rails already.
Well, drinking psychedelic cat grass. So, 2 games coming up this weekend at Indy, and then next Wednesday, U.S. Open Cup is back at Chicago Fire.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Do we even care? Do we want to talk about Indy, or do we not even care about those bitches?
Is anybody going?
No, I'm not going this time.
I think people have to make a choice between Indy or Chicago.
Yeah, you can't do a road trip on the weekend and on Wednesday.
No,
I just go to Indy then
in my life.
Ooh, just like a round trip, like a whole week, Adam.
Yeah.
Jump in the camper.
I wish I thought of that.
I mean, who would you rather go to? Would you rather drive through Indiana to get to Indianapolis, or would you rather just go to Chicago?
I'm going to tell you this. I have driven to Indianapolis for soccer tournaments 4 times in the last
the worst.
7 months. It is the worst possible drive of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Through the cornfields of Ohio and then through the cornfields of Indiana.
I know a shortcut.
What's the shortcut?
There's a shortcut that you can take through this town in Michigan called Homer.
Wow.
Yeah.
The
So look
shortcut
it up
is
next time you
going
go.
to DTW Airport and getting on a plane and flying to Indy. Takes about 45 minutes.
The next time you have to go drive to Indianapolis, like look up the town of Homer in Michigan.
Okay. Like Homer Simpson?
Yeah, I think it's spelled the same way. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's like one road that goes through Homer basically, and just take that road, and it is pretty good. It's not a bad shortcut.
Okay.
I've driven to Indianapolis plenty of times too, and we've taken the Homer route.
Oh wait, is that
few
the
times.
69? I think it is.
Nice. It's on 69 too. Yeah. Yeah.
Of course it is.
It all makes sense.
So it's great. It's a great shortcut. Yeah, and I have nothing against Indianapolis too. I think Indianapolis is a nice little city. But
it's nice to hang out there.
It's fine for an away trip, and it's just I've done a lot of those away trips there, and it's just like it's too early in the season, I think.
The only really interesting thing about playing Indy 11 this weekend is that James Murphy and Elvis Amo are on the team.
Oh, yeah.
I love James Murphy, to be honest. I thought we should have re-signed him, but I don't know. I might be in a minority on that one.
He's fine. I mean, what's going to be fun about that match is, it seems like Michael Bryant has taking on the shithouser role. So I want to see my matchup to watch is the Michael Bryant James Murphy matchup, because James Murphy's good for at least one yellow a game.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if Michael Bryant can get him to get that second yellow, and have Indy go down a man. So
that's a good point.
That's cool.
If Bryant's in full wind-up mode, Murphy for sure will be in like very on thin ice. Because Bryant in wind-up mode is like a total dickhead. There's times when I want to like slide tackle him for the things that he does on the field. So yeah, Murphy. Yeah, all right.
Someone's gonna throw hands. I feel it.
Yes.
The rumor is too is for some reason, City does not like the players do not like playing Indy. That's what I've heard. They hate Indy. They hate the team. That's been like their personal rivalry. So I think it has it will. I think it'll be chippy just because of that.
Yeah.
But you add in that little extra with James Murphy playing, his former team and everything, and then, hopefully Michael Bryant getting the, going extra shithouser Saturday, then
it's typically a fixture where something happens, and just the record has not been terribly favorable for us. So if we can pull out a result there, that would be pretty big.
I mean, Elvis isn't going to do anything. Elvis is a good guy, and he's a man of God.
Do you know what? He's got 3 goals in his last 2 games. Elvis,
I know he's on fire. Elvis is arguably their best player right now. So I mean,
he'll probably break his hip though on the week, in training tomorrow, and then not be able to play.
Is the rest of the team any good? Like, where is Indy even at in the standings?
They've had a very inauspicious start to the season.
And I think that they've beaten like Miami FC twice this year. They had their way with forward Madison. But when they actually play real competition, I think they played Charleston this year and they lost to them. So, It's a typical Indy 11, season so far.
So
they've only won one match, guys.
They've dropped 2 games at home and drew the other.
And this interesting little tidbit since 2021 when we joined USL, 2022, sorry. It appears that our only 2 wins in this fixture were away in Indianapolis. So
I feel good about it.
Suck on that.
Spicy.
Their supporters suck too.
They do.
Yeah, fuck them.
They're very cringy and they love Peter Wilt. Don't they have like a section or something named after him or something like? I don't know.
I would.
The Indy 11 supporters presented by Peter Wilt.
Gross.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what? I think there are few people that I hate more in lower league soccer than Peter Wilt.
I think that's a fair take. I think that's fair.
Yeah. He's like number 2.
Who's number 1?
Well, George, obviously.
George. How can we forget about George?
Anybody hate George?
Peter Wilt is probably my number 2 behind him.
Oh, right.
I would fight that guy. That's it. I'm calling it out. Peter Wilt, let's fucking fight.
Haven't some people fought George?
People have fought George, but who's fought Peter Wilt? No one yet. I'm ready.
Let's make this happen. We're gonna arrange this. No holds barred. Jam versus Peter. MMA style.
My money's on Jam, but I think it's
as it fucking should be.
Doesn't sound very fair.
That one doesn't get past the first round.
We could raise so much money.
Ooh.
Pride Raiser is coming up.
I was thinking we could raise the money to pay for Jam signing on fee.
This is how we do it. I get to fight Peter Wilt and I keep the proceeds.
Exactly.
Everybody wins.
That's right.
Maybe we see a fight between Jam's number 1 and number 2. I think George destroys Peter Wilt too.
Oh fuck yeah!
George is ready.
George
is ready to throw down with 17-year-olds. I don't think he has any problem herb stopping Peter Wilt.
I feel like if Garrett was here, he would have more to contribute to this. with all his wrestling knowledge,
he'd bring in some obscure wrestling, take from
1987.
Like Big Mountain Wrestling or something.
He would know the exact wrestling maneuver to put George into a headlock. Unbelievable. All right, the big one, the big kahuna. Next Wednesday, a week from today. A week from today. Detroit City on the road to Chicago Fire. Alan, you're going to that one.
I am going.
Jam?
Fuck yeah, I'm going.
Hell yeah. Adam?
No.
I'm making a trip of it. I'm going out Tuesday, staying till Thursday or Friday.
So let's. So speaking.
I already said I'm not going. I'm not going because that's where Dennis lives. So.
Dennis allegedly, we've not confirmed this, but allegedly Dennis will be in attendance.
Cheering for the Fire.
with the Chicago Fire scarf.
Because he's a Chicago resident now, so why not?
Yeah, right. How quickly they change.
Well, notice he's not on this podcast tonight.
Oh,
That's true.
volumes.
That's
So
right.
let's see, real quick. Jan,
Very suspicious.
Yes.
correct me if I'm wrong. The Tuesday night, so again, unconfirmed, but 600-ish.
That's what we've been told. That we're almost sold out of all the sections they gave us, whatever the fuck those are. Sounds like 600-ish people. So it's gonna be a good ass time.
Yeah.
And
this
then
may be the biggest away section.
I was gonna say this has got to be like the biggest
club's
away
history.
section. 1 in the club's history. 2, I would even bet for probably most Open Cup matches in general.
Yeah.
That are not like within an hour or 2 drive.
Yeah. Well, that aren't Seattle and Portland.
Well, yeah, they don't count. No one likes them anyway. So.
Yeah. No, I mean, it sounds like it's just going to be a hell of a time.
It sounds like they've got 2
Multiple
buses going.
Yeah.
2 buses, plus anyone who's driving themselves.
Right, plus everybody else. So it's going to be wild. We are getting together the night before.
Tuesday night
for anybody who is going to be in town. We will be getting together. I mean, starting probably, I don't know. Some people have said as early as like 5 o'clock, I think, is when the bar actually opens.
Happy hour. Get stuck in.
And that is going to be at the River Kitchen and Bar in Chicago. It is, for those who need an address, 2909 North Sheffield Avenue.
In the heart of Wrigleyville. I'm just making that up.
Wow.
I mean, it's.
I thought you were serious.
Close-ish enough. It's like Lakeview area.
Lakeview. Yeah.
Lakeview. So
that was my second choice.
It looks like they open up at 5 o'clock. The guy who runs the joint or whatever is a City supporter.
Let's go.
That's cool.
Reached out to us to see if we wanted to come by. Obviously, with the match being at the other stadium, it wasn't convenient for like pre-match get together, but it sounds like a lot of folks are coming out on Tuesday night. So if you are one of those folks that is coming out Tuesday night, come hang out with us at the River. It sounds like they've got some happy hour specials. They've got trivia starting at like 7 o'clock. Should be like a pretty chill hangout for those of us who are in town that day.
And then pre-match on Wednesday. I think we have that info too.
Yes, the pre-match on Wednesday.
The branding iron.
The branding iron. It's literally like next to the parking lot of the stadium. I don't know the fucking address, but you can't miss it. It's literally connected to the parking lot, and it sounds like 3 o'clock is kind of go time for that. So we'll see what happens. I heard that with us doing 2 buses now, that maybe there might be some sort of tailgate-ish gathering. I don't know the rules for tailgates and all that in their parking lot, but it sounds like if you're not into the bar scene, there might be other things going on at the stadium previous to the match.
There's the cat. There's the cat.
There's one of the cats. Hello, Mario.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it's going to be, all of it is going to be going on. So, very excited. I've been. I thought this might be a good away game, and it just sounds like it's going to be even better. So, should be fun. See how many Fire supporters show up on a Wednesday night.
Not as many as City supporters.
More important than the Fire supporters, do we think Victor Becerra will be there in the stands cheering for Chicago Fire or Detroit City?
Wow.
Ooh.
That's a good question.
That is a good question. Whatever you do, definitely those of us who are there, give a hard time to our old former friend, Coach Ryan Needs, who works for Chicago now.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He definitely hit us up on, I think, Twitter and was excited to see us. And I was like, I mean, we'll say hi, but, you know, you left us. It's
Punch
fine.
that guy in the face, will you please? I think at one point Garrett proposed that Ryan Needs was going to be the successor to Trevor James. And I was like, if that happens, I will
He's out. Jaime was out.
I will punch someone in the
Nards.
ball sack.
That too.
Yeah.
I think this cat knows he's on video right now.
This guy is definitely.
It's our next signing to the podcast.
We don't got any more money. There's no budget to sign the cat.
All right, no cats.
Look, okay, so
the cat has something to say.
So,
wait a minute, why are you
like
giving this guy
Ryan
such a hard
needs
time? He was on the staff of the club. Why are you treating him this way?
Here's the
Yeah,
question. How do we think this game is going to go? Like, so obviously we knocked out Columbus in 22. Got smoked by Minnesota United in 23. Knocked out Houston last year. What's the vibe? Is this a game that's what to me? Chicago seems pretty average in MLS. They've got I didn't even realize I was looking at the roster. Omar Gonzalez, 900-year-old Omar Gonzalez, is still playing.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. They're not doing great. They're 11 out of 15 teams in their conference.
They haven't won. Yeah, they haven't won since March 22nd, and they're coming off a 7-0 loss to I think Nashville.
Yes, I saw that. It was 7-2. They did score 2, but they conceded 7. I thought that was a fake score, fake news.
Yeah, they don't seem that good.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know how MLS teams treat Open Cup, and I don't necessarily think this is going to be any different. I don't know if we know how Danny's going to approach this. Danny's going to want to win it.
Yep.
And the great thing about that is, like we were talking about earlier, I mean, City has really, really good depth this year. So they can throw out a bunch of different combinations out there, and you would think it'd be pretty effective, especially against a Chicago Fire team that is, not great. I mean,
yeah, I feel pretty good about it. I mean, are they even going to put in their legit starters? Are they going to play their second guys like a lot of MLS teams do? What are we going to get?
I guess the only question is because they do play a game Saturday night as well, just like City. Is Chicago going to use this as an opportunity to kind of get right? They're playing a Division II team. They've been struggling. If they lose Saturday, are they going to use that as an opportunity to get things on the right track and get a win, their first win since late March? I can see something like that happening, but again, I mean, it's MLS. It's MLS, and it's the Open Cup. It's something that is third in line, it seems like, for them. It's behind league play, and it's behind the League's Cup.
I know that the Fire technical staff probably listens to this podcast because they want to get ready for the game. All I can say is you have more important things to think about than the Open Cup. You need to get right in the league.
Get your shit together.
That's right. Your jobs are on the line here if you don't improve how you're playing in the league. So don't even think about starting your main guys in this game.
Start Omar Gonzalez. Start Omar
This is free
Gonzalez.
advice because we're that kind of podcast. So take it or leave it. I'm just saying.
True.
All right. Let's do predictions. Let's start with the cat.
I predict that this cat is... I don't even know. He's fluffy.
What's the cat's name?
This one is Mario.
Mario?
His brother is Luigi.
I was hoping that was the case.
Yes.
Mario, what's your prediction for Open Cup?
Oh, he says City 3-1.
3-1 City? Okay.
Jan, do you have? I was gonna say, do you have a different prediction than the cat, or are you?
I do. My prediction is 2-1 City. I'm more conservative than the cat.
Alan?
Gonna say 1-1 with penalties that the City wins.
Ooh, okay. Adam?
I'm gonna go 2-1 as well. I'm gonna go 2-1 as well. Chicago Fire. No, I'm kidding. I'll go with City.
Almost had us there.
I'm gonna say 2-1 also in added extra time. I think it's 1-1 through 90, and I'm gonna say Ben Morris scores the winner in extra time.
All right. Yeah.
Psych. Darren Smith.
The worst.
Jam, does Ryan Williams get a goal in this one like he did last?
Ooh, yeah, I think he does. I think he gets one of the two. And I hope it's just a fucking banger like last year. That was such a good goal. But I already have not that I use the Twitter anymore, but he's already my Twitter name, so I don't have to change it then.
Perfect. Let's pivot to the owners' meeting that was held tonight. Earlier tonight. Adam, any juicy gossip out of the owners' meeting?
I don't know. I didn't go to it. Alan's the one that went to it.
Oh yeah, Alan. Any juicy gossip, Alan?
Well, these meetings can be boring sometimes, but I think we're all really shocked at the news about the stadium. No one could have anticipated that the stadium was going to be named after Adam.
Really?
The Adam Hernandez
I almost fell off my
Memorial
seat. I was like,
Stadium?
wow. No one expected it. But
no, that was part of my deal. What the fuck?
You're gonna have to take that up.
So
with
yes,
Sean.
it's gonna be the Adam Hernandez Stadium, brought to you by
great.
Speedway. And we're all very excited, and congratulations. Seriously, there was a little bit of stadium update. The wheels are grinding, but we're kind of getting to the punchline in terms of the stuff we need to have done before we finally see some activity at the old hospital. There's going to be a couple hearings, I think this week and next week or something like that, with the city, where once those approvals are in hand, that should clear the way for the financing for the teardown and the site prep. So should all of that go as expected, we perhaps will see activity as soon as June on the site.
Okay.
So again, this is all pending. So, but feeling confident. There will be an engagement process in terms of discussions about how the stadium is set up and this and that, the details. But that will come a little further downstream. So I don't think we're going to get a lot of input in basic stadium design, but we will have some input on how it's utilized. So we've kind of that's been spoken about kind of since the unveil meeting back in May, and we're still waiting for it to happen. But I can understand the desire to get things kind of in place before going into any details, because you don't want to make promises you can't keep. So that's the reason why we haven't seen that process start yet, is because design, financing, all of that jazz has to be in place before we can start talking about amenities, things like that. So what else? There was some financial updates. Yet another update on the K1s. So that the ongoing saga of the paperwork.
Do those jokers have any defense for how late these are coming out for those of us who have to do our taxes and
what's that mean?
Who's doing taxes in 2025 America?
That's right. Yeah. They don't need that money. Just don't file it. They won't notice.
I have all these losses work in my favor, actually.
Well, yeah. I mean that's actually, if you follow the process, you would be able to deduct a lot of that. The good news is, the club has, like was mentioned at the annual meeting back in March, does have a new CFO. So part of it's been this person's coming on board and reorganizing stuff, but it's also that the club has kind of outgrown its infrastructure in terms of the finances, and that's part of the problem. Is we've been asking people to do things that really they weren't set up to do.
We're getting a new accounting firm, right?
Yeah. So there's just stuff like that, nitty gritty stuff. There's 2,700 owners in our piece of the club, so that's just a lot to manage. So,
do they have a closet full of receipts called keepers? Did they have to get away from that? Shoeboxes.
They had to go find some shoeboxes in order to put all the receipts in. So that's been part of the problem. It's hard to get shoeboxes. You have to go buy shoes to get shoeboxes. So, what else we go through? Talked about Chicago, the big away section. That's going to be fun. We did talk a little bit about our charity partner, Michigan Immigrant Rights Coalition. Very timely, charity partner to have right now, given what's going on in this fucking country. So it looks like there will be a charity game, but later in the season. So stay tuned for that. And then Dave Dwahey talked about the women's team, which we'll talk about in a minute here. That was about it. There was a few other details.
I'm salty about this though, Alan. Can you just elaborate on? So in the email it says, "Oh, sneak peek at the women's roster." Can you tell them what the sneak peek was? Tell our listeners what the sneak peek was.
Well, there wasn't a lot of details. I think the sneak peek was Lily Jäger will be staying with Detroit City.
As reported by the 451 podcast last week.
That's right. Your most trusted source of news.
This is old information, Dave.
Give us some new shit, Dave.
Come on, Dave.
Well, you're going to get your wish because announcements should be forthcoming as soon as this week.
So my only other little tidbit that I've snooped is that, and this will come as a big surprise to everyone, Kayla Addison appears to be training with the team, as is Fatima Nasser. So
nice.
That's my contribution to the women's roster so far. I'm calling it now. Kayla Addison will play in 2025, as will Fatima Nasser.
It's a bold statement.
That's you've heard it here first. The team is practicing, at least the players, the non-collegiate players. So everything's ramping up quickly. First games are coming right up. So
I'm so excited.
It's going to be a great season.
Absolutely.
Dave did talk about, another big player pool to choose from. Players reaching out, they want to play for Detroit City. Really leveraging the success that both the indoor and the outdoor squads have had in the last couple of years. So that's very exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I wonder how that is affecting the the poll from not just around here, but the region in general. Because this is something that I thought was inevitably going to happen. Is City was going to kind of, and I'm not saying they're taking over yet, and Jaime probably has better insight on this than I do, because I have no insight on it whatsoever. But like the premier, and I hate using this word, but I'm going to use it anyway, the premier brand in the state when it comes to youth soccer, because there is in some sense that pathway to becoming pro on the the boys men's side. I know that's not quite there yet with the girls and the women, but still, it is the only pro team in the state of Michigan now. It is a well-known entity at this time, at this point now. City has always been one of the bigger lower league clubs in the United States, and given that success that the women's team had last year, outdoor, and then the success that they continue to have indoor, I wonder what type of pull that's going to have, not just in the state of Michigan, but in the region as a whole. You figure that at some point it's going to trickle outside of the state boundaries. So, and hopefully that happens this year too, because that Union Macomb team is really pissing me off. I think that's
makes me nervous.
I think that kind of proves your point. Is at least for nationals, which is a very large youth club in our area, but other areas as well.
And it's good that
they are taking a step into this W League in a big way, and I think it's partially because of what they saw that what City was able to do.
It's also good too that Lily actually wants to play in front of supporters instead of some of her nationals teammates that just want to play in front of their parents.
Yeah.
So,
I think she gets it.
And she's gonna be a pro too at some point.
And I think her whole family is kind of built in. Like, if I recall correctly, I could be wrong because I was drinking, but there was like a match last season where like her and her family came to fucking Painted Lady afterwards and were hanging out, like chilling.
Yeah.
You know, just the kind of people who are like into it and just like for the right reasons.
Yeah, and I mean, some of these kids, like, you know, you can't blame them if their parents would rather drive them 15 minutes to Union Macomb rather than all, you know, I mean, like, these girls are like 16 years old or whatever, like, they maybe don't even have all the say in where they're going to play. But yeah, I mean, for sure, like, I think the collegiate players, like, that's one of the branches where I think, like, yeah, maybe playing in front of real people makes a difference, and certainly the non-collegiate players, I think there's a lot of you know, I mean, everyone kind of knows everyone, so like, yeah, if they're into a real environment, then, you know, obviously Detroit City's the place. So for Shannon,
on the youth side of things, though,
a traitor.
On the youth side, though, of soccer in Michigan, what is the perception of Detroit City FC?
Well, I would say this, it's everywhere. Like, I mean, I was just at a tournament this past weekend in Grand Rapids, and there were like, I mean, teams from all the pretty much all the branches were there, I think. Like Detroit City North, Detroit City West, Detroit City whatever, Downriver. Like, there was a bunch of teams there. Like, so they've got a really like a visible profile, I would say. I think the one thing that they're running into is that their youth teams are not playing like the elite tiers of youth soccer, right? So like, even like, it may be a while before we actually see any of these, like, everyone deserves a club that you'll never grow out of, right? Like Dom Gasso, who we kind of like say, well, he's a homegrown player. You know, he never played for DCFC youth teams. Like, he played for Vardar coming up, and then joined the Detroit City USL Academy team for like one of these showcase tournaments or whatever when he was like 19. And then we're like, oh, this guy's pretty good. Like, let's have him join the team. So, I mean, I think maybe the girls might be closer actually than the boys in terms of youth soccer, in terms of like where they're playing, like what leagues they're playing in. But I mean, from a like a purely from a visibility standpoint, like Detroit City's youth teams are everywhere, like the kit, the badge, everywhere. So I think from that standpoint, it's like, I mean, I think it's still good. So yeah, if anyone cares.
Cam went and got another glass of wine.
Yep, she's ready. She's ready for hour number 2.
I'm interested. My big interest is getting wine drunk Jaime and wine drunk Jam on the same podcast. Yeah, that's
right.
This will happen.
It will happen more than once.
It's going to require planning, a lot of pre-planning, but yeah.
Mostly on your side, because I don't have a job, so I can get drunk whenever I want to.
Yes, that's fair. So let's do this. If you could bring back one women's player in the history of Detroit City for this upcoming 2025 season, who would it be and why?
Ooh.
For me, that's easy.
Okay.
It's Sid Blomqvist, like, without a doubt. I mean,
baller.
And it's her because I legitimately think that she is one of the best set piece takers in Detroit City FC history. Even factoring in the men's team.
Yeah.
Like,
do you think she's the GOAT on the women's side, Adam?
Like, generally speaking?
Yeah.
Shit fell out here. I mean, I would think she's probably like at least top 5 and most skilled. That
I think she is I think she is the best women's player that's played for Detroit City. Personally,
probably. I mean, top 5? You got to go her, Kenna White, Gabby. I mean, Lily is probably there now.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, would you say Kayla? I don't know.
Probably, yeah. I think so. I think that's fair.
I mean, if that's your top 5 right there.
Here's the even bigger question: Do you think there's a chance that Sydney sneaks back? So this past year she's been playing in the Netherlands for Telstar Women in the Dutch top flight. They unfortunately were finished last and were relegated. Do you think there's a chance she could come back stateside and play the summer with Detroit City before she makes her next move?
I think there's always a chance. I mean, right? I mean, she's...
Fingers crossed.
She's done it before. I mean, Why not? I mean, yeah, why not? And then seeing her play with, a more, experienced Lily Jekyll, I mean, that'd be phenomenal.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Yeah, Alan, let's have it.
I'm going to say that this upcoming W League team is going to be our best team ever.
Ooh.
Knock on wood.
Bold predictions.
So if I jinxed it,
we know who to blame.
Yeah, I'll have to go into hiding or something. No, I just feel like on very little evidence, but I just get the feeling like all the success that these squads have had leading into this, it's just going to be, we're going to hit new heights.
Maybe they poached some Chihuahua players after that beatdown that they took.
Bro, they should have.
That's right.
They're like, hey, come spend the summer in Michigan.
Pass out the business cards.
It's not as hot as Mexico.
Almost as hot though.
So what's your one player you'd bring back for the women's side, Alan?
Yep.
I don't know. I guess Sid, because just like it's a player that we didn't see near enough of when because her availability was limited. So you'd obviously want to see a team built around her. But it's kind of hard to think of from the early days who would make the lineup in the team we're going to have. Sid would obviously, but who else? I don't know. Kenna maybe, but yeah. I mean, we're growing in terms of quality. So,
Jam.
I'm actually gonna break from these guys and go with Ken White.
Yeah,
good choice.
She's great. I think she's playing in Hungary now.
Hungary, yes, and they just won. They just won the Hungarian Cup, I think.
I saw that she had just won something. I couldn't remember.
The Viktor Orban Cup or something like that.
I don't know. That's fake. That's fake news, everybody.
I mean, for now. But yeah, I would say probably her. I mean,
That's a good one.
What else can you say?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Kenna White, after a few years of playing like professional football in Europe, I mean, you can only imagine. You can only imagine
like
how
she can only get better from what we had when she was here.
Right.
Yeah, how elevated her game is right now. It has to be. It has to be crazy right now as far as like that skill level of hers, because it was already really good. And I mean, isn't she? Well, is she still our top goal scorer of all time, or did Kayla overtake her?
Kayla passed her last year.
Okay.
I think Kayla's got maybe one or two ahead of her now. But yeah.
Okay.
Still.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's really it. She's awesome. She scores.
He's gonna say some obscure player. Probably
he's gonna say some dumb bullshit. I feel it, but
I don't think this is that. I don't think mine's that obscure. Okay,
so, who's the one that went out west to play in Washington State or something last year? That's who Jaime's going to say.
Oh, Ella Karolak.
Yes.
That did break my heart just a tiny bit because I thought she was so good the year before. No, my vote is for Cristina Torres.
Okay.
She played the 22 season, I believe. And she didn't even really play that many games, honestly, for Detroit City. But she did score, I don't know if anyone remembers this, the game against Midwest United at home that year. Detroit City lost. They were like losing 3-0, and they came back and made it 3-2, and she scored one of the goals. She's a baller. I've kind of kept up with her career. She's playing for Unam Pumas, funnily enough, in La Liga MX women's division. And she starts like every game for them. She's an all-out baller. She's playing for the Puerto Rican national team. So yeah, that would be my vote, Cristina Torres. There's a lot of Detroit City women that are kind of in the pro realm. Maddie Wolfbauer is playing in NWSL now. She had a stint with Detroit City. Who else?
Or is she in Super League?
She was in the Super League last year, and then she is playing with the Washington, D.C. team, whatever that is.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
This year, yeah. I'm totally forgetting her name. She was the top scorer in 2022. Does that ring a bell for anyone? No. I think her name was also Maddie, maybe. Anyway.
Cristina Torres played for DCFC 2 back in...
She did play for the second team, but she also made like 3 or 4 appearances for the first team.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's how far back it goes, like, with Man City.
Yeah.
Is DCFC 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, though.
All right. First women's game is May 17th. In Ann Arbor, I think, right?
I believe so.
After party at my house.
Don't say that on air.
I mean, if you know me, you can come over after the game.
Everybody knows Jaime through this podcast. That's
only like 3 people know me.
That's how welcoming you are, Jaime. I mean, you're a friend to everyone.
That has probably never been said before.
And will never be said again.
In the history of this world. All right.
And then after that, the next weekend is the home opener.
Correct.
The doubleheader.
The doubleheader.
God.
And the Pride Raiser kickoff match.
Oh, so.
Didn't we just finish all this stuff last year? Like, just last month or something, it seems.
Listen, you better start hydrating now because it's coming. It's coming.
Yep.
All right. we're gonna end this with shout outs because that's what we do now. No speak the peace, shout outs.
In honor of Garrett.
In honor of Garrett, shout outs.
All right, Adam, you're first.
Let's see. Well, I want to shout out the lady at Kroger today when I went and bought my Twizzlers and Swedish Fish.
Twizzlers?
Yes, and Swedish Fish. My two favorite candy items of all time.
Okay.
She was very, very helpful because there was a little problem when I was scanning my Twizzlers. I don't know what the hell was going on with it, but she was prompt. She was nice and extremely helpful. So I want to shout out the cashier lady at Kroger in West Bloomfield, I believe. So thank you to her. I want to shout out the good people at Leo's Coney Island for the wonderful job they did today making my veggie stir fry. It was very tasty.
Which Leo's? It's like 100.
It's like Commerce or something like that. I want to shout out to, let's see here. I didn't get a chance to go to Speedway, but I would also like to shout out Kroger Gas as well. I hope that doesn't jeopardize our contract with Speedway, but
I think it might.
Now you've done it.
I also want to shout out Kroger Points as well because I ended up getting $1 off my gas today. So shout out to them. And I don't want to give a shout out to Verizon because their signal today was no bueno, as Jaime would say. So no shout out to Verizon.
This is actually that's helpful information because I'm actually thinking. I was thinking about my cell phone plan is up for renewal, and I was trying to think maybe I'll like engineer they always give the discounts to the new customers. Like the faithful customers get nothing. So I thought maybe I'll switch, go to Verizon, get a free iPhone. But now you've convinced me not to. So thank you for that, Adam.
They've been okay. I wasn't happy with that today. So that's why they don't get a shout out.
See, we give you consumer tips here as well with the football.
A one-stop shop podcast. Alan, any shout outs?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out to Dennis because he was very helpful in the last podcast to suggest that I should have a notebook where I write down my shout outs. I didn't actually get a notebook, and I didn't actually write down any shout outs. But I appreciate that he was thinking of what I could do in the future.
It was a very helpful suggestion.
So, yeah, I mean, maybe if I do it someday, it'll be helpful.
Jam?
I actually do have a shout out. And it's written down even. Look at this shit.
Ooh. Now you're just embarrassing me.
You know what?
It
won't be the first time, and it's not the last. Like, don't worry. I'll embarrass you so many more times on this podcast. All of you. I'm famous now. Real shout out. Got this one from our good friend Puck. This is a shout out to Luciano at the club.
Yes.
He hooked up NGS Cares with a whole box of clothes that they could not sell at the club shop. So we can now donate that for Sundays at Cass Park. If you're not already volunteering for Sundays at Cass Park, get your ass out there and volunteer. It's the second and fourth Sundays of every month, usually. But yeah, like that's cool. Like it's fun. NGS Cares does a bunch of shit. That's one of the biggest things they do. And it's nice to have folks at the club who help support the things that we do.
Absolutely.
Did you not think my shout outs were real, Jam?
They're real something, Adam. But that's my shout out.
Nice.
That's lovely.
I got 2 shout outs. One to Garrett, who's not here tonight. Bless his soul. For sneaking in all these like sneaky little intros to our podcast. It's like the 2 or 3 now, and I'm like, he wasn't on. He wasn't even here. But he sneaks a little intro, a little bit of Garrettness into the podcast, and that's very welcome because obviously we miss.
They're great. They're better than the actual intro.
Just watch the 1-minute intro from Garrett and then log off of YouTube.
Or hurry up and upload because I don't know if he sent one. So hurry up and upload this one so I can get it out.
before.
It's gonna start cutting in more segments along the course of the podcast. I was like, wait a minute, we didn't discuss that.
And then my other shout out is to my friend Ryan, who is a faithful listener of this podcast. He's going to Chicago. So if you see Ryan and his kid Grayson, this is what a legend. He's pulling his kid out of school to go to Chicago to see the Detroit City Football Club play in the U.S. Open Cup on a Wednesday. I think that's awesome.
That's how you do
I
it.
wish I was doing that, but
why aren't you as good a dad as Ryan?
Well, many reasons that I'm not as good a dad as Ryan, but mostly because I'm coaching a soccer game that night. So that is my lame excuse.
Can you get one of those like birds?
Soccer is interfering with your soccer.
Ironically enough. What did you say, Adam?
Get one of those birds that like just go back and forth like that Homer Simpson got to press the yes or the Y button on the computer.
Yes. Yeah.
Just get one of those, and that'll be your coach for the day. Or one of those monkeys that do the that have the symbols. You just put that on the
sideline. It'll
get a giant cardboard cutout of Jaime.
Yes,
that's what I need.
There.
Wow.
Coach doesn't. He must be mad. He's not saying anything at all.
Those stickers that you can put on the wall that are like what were those called?
Fatheads. Yeah.
Yeah, they were popular for a while. All right.
Not anymore.
That's all. That's all there is today. See you in Indy, probably not, or see you in Chicago. Say hi to Alan and Jam and Ryan. And
you don't have to say hi to me. It's fine.
Yeah.
City till I die. Say hi to the bad guy.
See ya.
Pretty gritty in the
Bye.
You see my flag fly, chin check. Hashtag we came to sweep the leg. With all disrespect, LaRouche will bruise your head. 2012, the scene pop. We came to clean clocks. Your team is dream drop. We gave some mean knocks. Stomping on the comp. Yeah, we chomping on the bit. Many came and went, but they ain't stopping none of it. Community built, community owned. Roasting foes coast to coast. Leave your hope postponed. Spirit of Detroit. Lemons the lemonade. Yemen and Bangladesh make a stronger